The next episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
Oh, yeah, cats and kittens. Welcome back to The Commercial Break. I'm Bryan Green. This is my dear friend and the co-host of this show, Krissy Joy Hoadley. Best to you, Krissy.
Best to you, Bryan.
Best to you out there in the podcast universe. I am watching an Instagram account that I've been watching for a while because my Instagram is fucked up.
Yes, it is. It's all over the place.
I love it. I love it. We got like a lot of new followers on Instagram, a lot of interactions going on our Instagram because we started rolling out clips from the TCB's Endless Day, the big birthday bash. And a lot of people interacting and reacting to Tig Notaro and Ricky Lindholm, who was not part of the Endless Day, was supposed to be part of the Endless Day. Michael Ian Black, stuff like that. So I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram, just like kind of, bouncing around and interacting. There's a guy that's been on my Instagram, my personal Instagram. I followed him for a couple of years. And I forget the name of the business. It's not the name of a person. It's like Alabama Fraternity Consulting, LLC. And he's 50, 55 years old. And all of his Instagram is filled with him at fraternity and sorority parties, bars in Alabama. That's it.
He's consulting?
He's consulting. He's in the middle of the fray. 18 to 22-year-old women, 18 to 22-year-old guys. He's drinking, he's funneling, he's fuzzing, he's fucked up, and he's pitching you his business. And that business is, don't go it alone. I can help you get into the fraternities.
Oh.
I can tell you what to do, what not to do, what to wear on the first day of Rush, what to wear on the first day of whatever they call the male version of that. What is it called? Is it called Rush for males? Or bid? Is it bidding? It's bid day or something?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy's entire life is reliving his entire life, his glory days as an 18 to 22-year-old. That's all he does. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of feel like, dude, really? It's a little weird to be this old and have an Instagram filled with you at parties with kids that are inappropriately young for you to be hanging out
I think I would
with.
feel weird if I was the kid at the party.
They love him.
Okay, he's
they
like
fucking love him. He's a legend. He doesn't look like a legend. I'm not knocking the way the guy looks. I'm not saying I look any better, but I'm saying he doesn't look like he would have made it in the first place. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. He doesn't look like a typical fraternity kind of guy, but he just weekend after weekend, day after day, week after week, it's him either talking in his phone. I imagine he's got like a Toyota Corolla in his Toyota Corolla driving down the street. I got a phone call, 13 out of 20, bid on the first go. Who you gonna call? Alabama Fraternity Consulting. And I'm like, wow, that's a weird pitch for your business.
Is this for like the University of Alabama?
It is for the University of Alabama.
Wow.
He is,
They've got that Greek life down there, huh?
It's wild. It's wild.
Because they're the ones that had the show on, right? On Netflix.
Bama Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Bama Rush was one of my favorite television shows because it showed just how ridiculous the business of finding friends is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I think had I been a different human in a different body with a different mindset, had I at all been cool enough to be in a fraternity and additionally gone to a campus where they had a fraternity, I might have been differently. I might have thought differently. I'm not saying it's good or bad.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
probably would have done it if I had gone to a school where I didn't know anybody. But I happened to go to a school where I knew a bunch of people. Knoxville.
Alabama Fraternity Consulting.
Oh, okay.
You see this guy? All right, look. He's at the bar. You should have called me. But so it's just endless feeds of him in his car pitching, but then he's at the parties.
He's like on the stage.
He's on the stage.
Yeah.
With all the hot girls and guys.
Hey,
Unbelievable.
He looks like he's having fun, although that is what Instagram is portraying yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the fraternity consulting guy, you're not going to have a boring Instagram. No, he's hit on him. He's got a niche. Now, listen, there are a lot we saw in Bama Rush, the show. We saw that there are lots of women that do this for women, right? There's lots of women that help them prep on how to get into the right sorority, what to say, what to do. No. No, but I mean, this guy lives on campus. You know he does.
Yeah.
He probably lives in some apartment, some old rusty, crusty apartment he's had since
Very close to it.
1972. Yeah. And he couldn't shake the life. I have a friend who went and moved to Athens, never went to UJ, came from Texas. This is my good friend, my wild friend that we did all this wild shit with as a teenager, including buying pounds of cocaine and catching, playing cops and robbers out the side of my house. He moved to Athens when he was 22, 23, 24 years old. He just went up there because he liked the campus life. When he was in Texas, he didn't get a taste of the campus life, but he liked to be on the University of Texas campus. So he fell in love with UGA and all it had to offer in the music scene and the whole 9 yards.
It's a good little
beautiful.
town. Yeah.
It's gorgeous. So he became what they call here a townie. That's what they call him. If you live in Athens, past your expiration date, you're a townie. But guess who else is a townie? Half of Widespread Panic, Michael Stipe from REM, the guy from Cracker. I mean, these people, they live up there because they love the town of Athens.
Yeah.
And it is just one big fraternity and sorority party going on 24 hours a day. He loved it so much that he opened a bar in the middle of downtown and then opened additional bars as it went along. So he kind of became like a little townie entrepreneur, my friend did. I would have voted him least likely to do anything in life, and he managed to, now has one of the most successful, best reviewed bars in all of Athens.
You'll have to tell me what bar that is.
I'll tell you, it's called the World Famous.
Okay.
It's called the World Famous.
Yeah.
It's a great name for a bar, too. The World Famous. Going to the World Famous. Going to World Famous.
Yeah.
Right across the street from 40 Watt. So he gets a lot of that crowd comes in there. He's got a little music room. He puts on shows. He had, what's that band? Milk, something about milk, Mother's Milk, not Mother's Milk, but I can't remember the name of the band. They were famous for a minute in the 2000s and they had milk in there.
Familiar.
Yeah, but I went up there one night and the place that you couldn't have fit another human being in there.
It was packed.
It was packed because the singer from this band, they had reunited for a couple of nights. They played the 40 Watt and then the singer did like a special thing there. It was packed and everyone seemed very excited that this guy from this milk band was there and I didn't know what the fuck anybody was talking about. Anyway, listen, what a life to live. What if you're going to live one life, let it be the one where you're acting like an 18-year-old for the rest of your life.
I guess.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure I approve. Like if that's my son or daughter and they're hanging out with the Alabama Fraternity Consulting dude, I'm not sure I'm putting my stamp of approval on it.
Right.
But if I take myself out of, if I take myself the parent equation or the just generally being a decent human being equation for a minute, I'm saying, why not? Live your best life, dude.
Yeah,
why not? As long as you're not being inappropriate with any of these.
Yeah,
essentially,
you don't be the creepy old
don't be the creepy old dude. Just don't do that. You're already kind of the creepy old dude just by choice of your profession. Just don't take it to the next level.
No.
Like, you shouldn't be hitting on the girls. But the kids seem to love him. He takes pictures of them all the time. They're always like calling him a legend. But when you're 18...
Maybe he's like the novelty legend, though.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's like that guy, Paul, that I used to hang out with as he was my painter boss during the Olympics.
Yes.
And he would say things like, you're at that age where you're scared of pussy. And we would all laugh at him. And now many years later, I'm like, he was absolutely right about that. Still am. Still don't know what they do.
Whatever happened to Paul?
I don't know. He can't be alive. He cannot be alive. That's true. But he was just he owned a tiny little painting company. Come paint your house. And he'd hang on ladders, afraid of nothing. Kind of a dweeby little guy. But we always used to think of Paul as like a legend. He was like, he's a legend. Well, he wasn't really a legend. He was just a guy who said weird stuff that would drive us from party to party. Right. So, I think that's kind of where the Alabama Fraternity guy consulting, he's got that energy. Mm-hmm. Like, he's harmless. So that makes me believe that there's a good chance he might be harmless. Because if he was, like, actually creepy Alabama fraternity dude, I don't think all these kids would be so enamored with him. You look in his comment section, there's like, you're such a lead, you're the dude, you got me in, my brother's brother loves you, blah, 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 come visit, whichever college.
I wonder how he like gets them in. I mean, is it again like with the women where it's the way you dress and the things you do and say, or is he like, he's got connections?
I think it's both, probably. Yeah, I think you're not going to get in just because Alabama Fraternity Consulting guy. I don't even know his name, but you're not going to get in just because you know him. But
it helps.
It helps. Like if you're on a track to get into a fraternity and it's going to go one guy or the other guy and you use this dude, who knows? There could be bribes or kickback. This could go deep. This could be a conspiracy level shit. Yes. And I wouldn't.
Let's go with that.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
No.
Wouldn't surprise me if this guy gets paid $10,000 to help a guy get into a fraternity and 3 of that goes to the fucking keg fund for the party, right? And okay.
Makes sense.
Cool. However
Everybody's
you got to do
happy.
it. Yeah. It's not like, we all treat it like, I don't know. It's the FIFA World Cup or it's a fraternity. Honestly, who cares? Okay, somebody got in, somebody didn't. That's life. Learn that lesson early. Sometimes you get in, sometimes
you know what I
don't.
just thought has been driving me crazy? It's you pledge.
You pledge.
Yes, the male is pledge.
Oh, pledge and rush. Got it. Okay, so pledge. So yeah, you pledge. You get in, you don't. I imagine you apply for a lot of them. Probably.
Yeah,
3 or 4, 5, 6, all of them. Me, I would probably do all of them because there'd be zero chance I'd get into
whoever
any of them.
Whoever takes me.
Yeah, whoever takes me. I'd be at Gamma Phi. Was the guy from the Nerds? Delta Gamma or whatever?
Yeah.
Delta Gamma Phi? That'd be me. I'd be he's like that guy from old school. He started his own fraternity in his bedroom.
Yes.
And now he can just hang. Now he's the coolest guy on campus. I bet he gets free drinks everywhere and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, saw him I was watching a reel right before we came on, and he was on a podcast. Like a podcast. There's a guy who does a podcast all about Alabama, from Alabama. Like, and must be a student at Alabama. He looks that young. And he's on the podcast, and the guy's treating him like, Superman came on the podcast. I'm like, maybe we should
He's
get
a
him
legend.
on. Yeah, maybe we should get him on. I'd like to ask him so many questions. For sure. Speaking of
I should reach out.
College towns, we did this episode where we talked about Bentonville, and we were very excited about the prospect that, Walmart had this big associates party where all these huge A-list singers and actors and whatever else show up and put on this big to-do for the Walmart associates, the everyman, the Joe Schmoes and the Betty Boops that work in the stores helping us out, check out or stock the shelves or drive the trucks or whatever it is, and not the highfalutin billionaires that are running the company. And we got very excited and we thought, this must be a fucking party.
Well,
Let us know.
according to Reddit, you haven't lived until you've been to this party.
3 or 4 different people said the same version of the same sentence, which was, you haven't lived until you've spent a week in Bentonville, right? And so we said, hey, if anybody's ever been to Bentonville or knows about this, you got to write in. And somebody did. A guy named Craig wrote in and loosely knows the commercial break. I'll just put it that way. I don't know if Craig wants us giving up the goose here, but Craig says Bentonville essentially is a college town. There, I think maybe the University of Arkansas is near there. I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense.
It essentially is. And lots of people come in town for the Walmart Associates Week. It's essentially like a big festival, a very well-run conference where, in fact, the public can stay and play. I mean, I don't think everything. I don't think you're going to go to the concert.
No. Or you're not going to go to
Benson Boone or whatever.
You're not going to go to the breakout sessions.
No, you aren't going. You aren't going to be in the projections meeting.
Yes.
But cool that you can just kind of show up and do a little dance.
Party around the festivities. Show up at the bars, show up at the restaurants. We could do the podcast from out there. I would think that they're going to have the Walmart studios.
Yeah, they're going to have
on.
the whatever studio, Walmart podcast studios that they've started to roll out, only in one place in Tennessee so far, but I'm sure it'll get there. But I really did think to myself, I mean, listen, we had this conversation. I'm not cucking for Walmart. They're not a sponsor. No one's giving us money to say this. But
we just want to go for the party.
Yeah, working people are our people. Yes. Trust me, that is the vibe of the commercial break. We're not a crypto bro show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't have people in Miami who live in multi-million-dollar condos are not listening to the commercial break. They're listening to a different kind of show, and you know which show. I don't need to say it out loud. But we're the working man and woman show, and Bentonville probably represents one of the largest employers out there. I would love to go to Bentonville during that week. I'm telling you,
we need to put it on the calendar.
Yeah, and I don't want to go.
It'll be our spring break.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go to Bentonville for spring break. I don't want to go for the breakout sessions, for the projections meetings. I want to go for the bars at night.
This seems like actually the best kind of conference we could have ever gone to. I mean, you've been to plenty, I've been to plenty, and the sucky thing about them is having to think about work.
That's right.
Freaking breakout sessions. Now it's just all party all the time.
Right.
We can nurse our hangovers in the day, party at night with the rest of the people.
I love this idea. The worst part about a conference, and anyone who's ever been to a conference will know this, is the shitty fucking motherfucking schedule that the dumbass organizers put together to curb your drinking. If you don't think for 1 second that the organizers of every business conference ever, no matter which industry you work in, say to themselves, we have to have the first breakout session at 7:15 in the morning and free breakfast from 5:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. is so that you don't stay out till 2:30 in the morning drinking. You're fooling yourself, because that's exactly what they're doing. And let me tell you,
that's exactly what you're doing.
And that's exactly what you need to do. Right.
It does. Well, I'm going to say that's exactly what I'm doing. No matter what time in the morning, you're still going to party.
Yes.
And then you're just going to be so.
How many conferences have we rolled through to the morning?
Yeah.
Yes. I say to myself, from 11 to 3 p.m., my boss is going to be in highfalutin corporate executive meetings, and that is when I will be in the hotel room sleeping with my phone right next to me, so I can text back and say, "Oh yeah, I'm at a networking event. I had a special meeting with this new client. We're trying to."
That's right.
I have a million of them. Yes, I've been to so many. I went to so many podcast conferences that I could look at the name of the breakout session, and I could certainly pretend as if I was there and probably get 90% of the conversation correct, because I just knew it. And we've all been there in whatever industry you work in.
Team building. We did great team building.
Yeah, launch a podcast. Why are you at launch a podcast? Listen, I'm just trying to keep my finger on the pulse. I don't know. Who cares? I wasn't. I was upstairs sleeping off my hangover. That's what I was doing. I was buying weed down the street.
You did in Vegas.
I did. I went to the first weed store I've ever been to. Listen, that's the way it is. I look forward to the day when we can all just be adults and go to a conference where the first breakout session starts at 11:30 in the morning.
Exactly.
Because then we all look forward to. We're all drinking on the company dime. We know it. Why fool ourselves? Let's just get started at 11:30. That way everyone's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I would say 10, maybe 10. And then, you do a little work for an hour, break for lunch for like 3 hours, come back, have another breakout, and then you're done.
Perfect. Yeah. Krissy got it licked. 10 to 10:15.
Yes.
Good morning breakout session. 10:15 to 3:15 nap time.
And lunch.
3:15 to 4 p.m. Show us all the slides you have to show us right now.
Yep.
And
PowerPoints.
then that's right. Free dinner from 5 to 7. Bus to the local bar, and then after party, and then rinse and repeat.
Yep.
And then also, let's do conferences, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you got to get in there on Sunday night. Let's do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
That's right.
Those 3 days. That way you can take off work Monday and Friday to pack and recover, and then you have the whole weekend. Essentially, you get a week off.
We figured it out.
We figured it out for you. When the commercial break conference happens, or we have our first cruise, or breakathon, or whatever's going on, don't you worry. There will be no official events that happen before 3 p.m. in the afternoon, nor will there be any that happen after 3:30 p.m. So you guys are good.
Exactly.
Meet and greet from 3 to 3:30. If we say hello, great. If we don't worry about it. Attendee capacity, 5 people. You have to pay for everything.
The commercial break conference.
Can't wait. Yeah, we were just talking about our Rachel, the beautiful woman who does our voiceover work for us, who's like we call it the voice of God on the commercial break. So she does all the liners and stuff like that. And she had to put one of her cats down, Xena, over the weekend. And
so sad.
Yeah, that is heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. And anyone who's ever been through it will know. And we were sharing something I've been saying for a long time is that's the deal that you make. It's like the unspoken agreement between you and a pet of any nature, of any kind. Unless you're keeping an elephant as a pet or a turtle as a pet or maybe a parrot as a pet. The deal is I'll feed you, I'll house you, I'll keep you warm and safe from the big bad world, and I'll take you to the doctor when you get sick, and I know it, and I'm able to do that. And then you just give me love. That's it. That's all I'm asking for, a little love. But then the second part of that agreement is it's highly likely that you will not outlive me. I will have to be there at the end. And
that's tough.
It is the toughest thing in the world. I mean, it's not the toughest thing in the world, but it is very tough. It's close to the toughest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of us treat our animals like children.
Absolutely. They become a part of the family for sure.
Of course they do. They're a part of the family. Mm-hmm. They're a part of your events and your activities. They're in your pictures and your photos.
Your whole life.
Yeah. And like dogs, cats can be a little bit different depending on which cat you have. But I was telling Rachel when I was texting with her my condolences that Rachel and I have lived less than a quarter of a block away from each other in 3 different places. How that happened, I don't even know, but it just kind of randomly happened. But we lived down the street when we first started to know each other, and she went out of town on a couple of vacations, and she asked me if I could take care of her cats while she was gone. Well, I am deathly allergic to cats. Cats are not my thing. But I love these cats. They were really fucking cool.
Oh, and she got them when they were little kittens. They were so cute.
Yeah, but they were more like monkeys. They'd like swing off the chandelier.
That's a kitten.
Yeah, that's a kitten.
It really is.
Yeah, it was
That's
up in the
kitten.
rafters.
Yeah.
It was like in the air conditioning vents. It was like the cats were all over the place, and they were the cutest things. And I took care of those cats on a number of occasions. I was so concerned about those cats that one time she left for like a day. I needed to go take them out one time. And when I got there, the doors were locked and she forgot to put the key outside. And I was freaking out about these cats that were not mine, but I love these cats and I didn't want them
to starve.
I'd never forget that they were like sitting in the kitchen window. She had like this screened in patio and I could get into the screened in patio and she was they were sitting in the kitchen window, like pawing at the window. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get in here. I had to call a locksmith to get in the door. It's a weird conversation to have with a locksmith. Luckily, he wasn't too plussed about it. He was like, whatever, I'll just open the door. Yeah. He's like, do you have paperwork? And I'm like, bro, I don't know paperwork for these cats. Anyway, Xena, to you farewell, my child.
She's in the spirit world.
Yeah, she's in the spirit world.
With my cat.
With your cat. Mm-hmm. With a lot of our animals. With Nico.
Yeah, with
all
Nico.
the others that we've, with Nico, with Nacho, with Jordan, with all the other animals that to all the dogs we've loved before.
To all the dogs and cats we've loved before.
That's right. And here, and cheers to your many happy passings, many happy blessings. Nico, I can still smell you, and I love you very much.
Nico doesn't smell anymore.
No, unbelievably, the dead dog smell went away when the dog actually died. So, no pun intended. Back on the Instagram track.
Yes.
I recently followed Alex Cooper and Call Her Daddy. The commercial break did. And flipped a post that I thought was very interesting and worthy of conversation. She took a letter from a listener that basically said, it was a woman, and the woman was saying, my boyfriend is really upset about my body count, right? And he can't get over it.
How many people you slept with?
How many people you slept with. And I wrote a comment that got a lot of response where I basically said it's probably the most childish thing that you can be concerned about, sweat over, be jealous of, is someone else's sexual history.
Past.
It's redunculous.
It really is.
A 3-year-old would worry about this. A 15-year-old would worry about this. Not a man. Not a real man.
Yeah,
it sounds like a boy.
Major insecurity.
Huge insecurity. And what does it fucking matter? Relationships are built on the new memories, as I put in the comment, the new memories that you forge moving forward, not the conversations about who you slept with before. And Alex made the point that I've slept with people and I can remember every single one of them. I can mostly remember every single one of them that I've slept with, and that's true. And I know Astrid can too. I'm not asking her to recall that while we're having sex, nor do I care. I understand that my wife had a sexual history before I showed up, and that doesn't bother me one bit because that's just a reference point in her life, a space and time. It's a pin in space and time. And it's really silly to to ask the question, okay, if you really want to know the answer, sure, I'll give it to you if I even know it. But even keeping track of your body count is kind of silly to me. After 4 or 5, it's like, who fucking cares anymore?
Right.
Like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
We all have a history. It doesn't really matter because that's not why you're in the relationship, to talk about someone else's sexual escapades previous to you showing up at the front door.
And depending on what age you are, I think it's a good thing. I mean, you want to have somebody that has some
Sexual,
kind of experience before you and maybe knows what they want a little bit more, has been had what they didn't like, had what they liked. They're able to tell you that then. And also the person's not pining away like, oh, what did I miss out on?
Yeah, correct. That's a good way of thinking about it. Like, let someone show up with a few miles on the car.
Yeah.
Because you just...
Depending on what age you are.
Depending on what age you are. Okay, let's be clear about that, depending on what age you are. But someone shows up to your door. There's a new show on TLC, because of course, leave it up to fucking TLC.
Of course.
There's a new show on TLC that I have not watched, but I've seen clips of, called The Virgins. And it's all these guys and girls who are well into their 30s or 40s who are virgins. Mm-hmm. And the one clip I saw was a notable and consistent reaction on first dates as soon as the person mentions they are a virgin. You know what that reaction is? See you later.
Oh.
Out of here. Because, and part of me thinks, oh, that's harsh.
Yeah.
Like, that's a little harsh, right? Now, okay. Mm-hmm. But I can kind of understand, like, I don't want to be your first at this age. I just don't want to be, because you never forget your first. And I was 15 when I had my first. I never forgot my first. Imagine I'm 50 and I'm looking for my first. Like, there's a certain level of attachment that's going to come there. And second of all, maybe it is, again, doesn't matter the body count, but maybe it is okay if someone shows up and they've kind of shaken some stuff out of their system.
Right.
They know what they want. They know what they don't. I mean, to sweat it is so bumbling stupid. It's not even funny. It shows how immature how emotionally immature you really are.
Insecure.
Go to a Tantra conference. You go to a Tantra conference and the body count is like 70 million.
Yeah.
There could be 4 people in the room. Okay, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 70, it's going to be 80 million by the time you leave. You just don't ask. If you don't want the answer, don't ask.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter.
I have dated some people. I am 99% sure the body count far surpassed my body count. But it's not a game, and it's not a race, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. If you're going to have a conversation about sexual history for safety purposes, to make sure you're having safe sex, to make sure you're into the same things, to make sure that their sexual past aligns with whatever values you have or morals you want in your life, cool. But don't get upset about it. Don't be a douche. Don't be a douche. This is a good lesson for the kids out there, right? When you get into your 20s, like your mid-20s, I've said this a lot on this show, and I think this is the secret to a good relationship, and I'm about to let you in on it. Know which hills to die on.
Yeah.
That's it. I have figured it out, kids. Know which hills to die on. There is a lot of stuff, and I mean a lot of stuff, that my wife does that is bothersome to me, that I don't care for, that I wish she wouldn't do, say, whatever. I don't care. I put it out of my head as soon as it comes into my head, because that's not a hill worth dying on. It's not. I'm not going to tell her that brushing her teeth in that manner makes me upset. It doesn't fucking matter. She's a human being. She can brush her teeth however she wants to.
Yeah.
Right? Sleeping with the mailman? while we're married, that's a hill you might want to consider dying on. Yes.
That's a big
But
deal.
how she cooks chicken nuggets, I don't give a fuck if you cook them in the air fryer or the microwave. It doesn't matter to me. I think when I was young, I didn't know which hill to die on.
That's so true.
So every hill I died on. And that became death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? So know which hills to die on, and this is not the one because you can't change it.
No.
No one's going to unfuck people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if you really like somebody, just deal with the body count. It's okay. And if you don't want to know if it's going to make you upset, if you're going to get jealous, if you're that kind of twinkle toes, if you're really that sensitive about how many people someone has slept with, don't ask the question. Just don't. Live with it. Pretend that you know it. Pretend that it's one and you are the one. Just do that. How's that?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, when I saw the post, it kind of like got under my skin a little bit. I was like, wow, we're still worried about that stuff?
Oh, there's still very many insecure people out there.
I know it. I know it.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah, it seems like we are all so concerned about every little thing. It's like 0 to 100 in a second, right? Everything is a reason for everybody to be upset. I mean, maybe I consume too much social media, and I probably consume too much social media.
Yeah.
But you just watch these reel after reel or clip after clip of people going from 0 to 100 over the stupidest stuff. It's like, he disrespected me. Disrespected you? Is that a thing? Is it a thing? Don't worry. Just go somewhere else. Just do something else. Go do something else, It's my parking spot. You're entitled to the parking spot because you showed up first? Is that the law of the land?
People are definitely on edge, and I have to say, I mean, we're kind of in that political environment, I think, which bleeds into other areas of your life.
I do think you're right about this. I think that the politics has either one or the other. The chicken or the egg. I'm not can't figure out what, but by osmosis, the tribalism and the entitlement and all that stuff has just soaked directly into our bones. And I can say sometimes I'm guilty of the same thing. I'm not immune to all of the tribalism either, right? But it's like we get so upset so quickly over the dumbest fucking shit. And maybe it would be good for all of us to learn the lesson, not only about relationships, but about life. Know which hills to die on. That's it. Just let some stuff go. It's okay.
Good theory.
I said to my friend, I wish we could go back to a time, because I remember it when I was a kid. You would not ask my father who he voted for because he would not tell you. And I was his child.
Yeah.
And he would not tell me. Now I know who he voted for, and now that I'm adult, I know who he voted for, but I still wouldn't ask him to this day because politics was not something that was talked about. It was considered gauche. You just didn't do that. You didn't talk about politics and mixed company. It just wasn't something that you did.
Religion and politics.
That's
right?
it. Religion.
Stay away from those.
Those two are not dinner time conversation, and they never were. And even though we went to church, we didn't talk about religion. Even though we watched, the nightly news, you didn't talk about politics. It's not what you did. And so I wish we could go back to a time. And I know that in 2025, some political decisions and religious decisions, they actually affect our lives.
Yes.
And so we get very upset by that. I'm not saying ignore it either, but I just wish there was a little bit more sanity in the way that we handle this. And, I understand that political violence also has been it's been a staple of American history. This is not new. Political violence, over the weekend, some terrible,
awful
murders happen. We're all quick to run and figure out who did it and how they felt about the world around them so that we could either score one for us or score one for them. But we have to remember that there were mothers and fathers and human beings that lives were affected. Doesn't really matter who scores what. The reality is that we're all just way too hot about this. And I think it goes back to something, honestly, as simple as getting really upset about how many people somebody slept with. That's a dumb thing to get upset about. Yeah. All of it is. So anyway, I'm on my soapbox and I should get off of it. I got a throaty thing happening. Am I getting sick the week before I decide I'm going to go on vacation? That's always what happens. As soon as I decide I'm going on
Probably.
vacation, I get sick. That's it. Cancel the vacation. No Disney, kids. Oh, my God.
That would not work.
We had to start planning our Disney vacation. Like, you have to, like, figure out every minute of every day
I've
and
heard
put it
this.
into an application.
Spreadsheet or something.
Yes, or you're never going to go on any rides.
Yeah.
Spreadsheet. It's like $1 billion Oracle application.
Really?
Oh, my God. Listen, I'll go on this rant. Let's take a break, and then I'll go on this rant. I'll share it with you. We'll turn it to something a little more lighthearted.
Okay.
But anyway, honestly, just one last note. My hearts go out to the folks in Minnesota, because what a terrible tragedy. I don't care who the dipshit voted for. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The people, and I would say this no matter what political affiliation the victims had, it's a fucking terrible thing. So we're getting ready to go on this Disney vacation.
Yes.
And, I don't even know where to start with this. We like Disney. I've been to Disney more times than you've been to Disney. I can guarantee it. I'm not saying you. I'm saying you, the listener. Guarantee.
Well, and me.
And you. And all of you put together. I've been to Disney a lot. It's something that my parents did for us when we were kids. The only kind of vacation we took when we were kids. And we didn't go every year, but we went quite a bit. And that was the only vacation we ever took. We never went to like the beach or go sightseeing. We went on a cross-country trip and we went to Disney. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's the only two places we went. So for us, that was kind of like our whole purview. If we were going to have fun and relax, we were going to Disney. That's what we were doing. Disney World down in Florida. And as an adult, I've continued to go. I like it. I think it's cool. But the more that I go, and anybody who's been to Disney will know this, the more that you have gone, the more modern Disney is not the Disney of yay. It is not. Because you cannot just show up at Disney World and have a good time. You now have to plan every minute of every day all the time. Or you will not get on any rides. That's the way it is. So now Disney used to be that back in the day, I don't know, this probably started in the 90s. They would put these little boxes in front of the rides. It was called a fast pass.
Oh, yeah.
It was an invention by the Disney World organization. Because when you think about it, I realized this on a trip with Astrid when we were dating. Like, we went on a Disney trip when we were dating. And I realized something. Disney is not in the business of theme parks. They are not in the business of hotels. The Disney World,
sphere,
the
universe.
Disney World, Disneyland. Like, I'm talking about the theme parks, right? Mm-hmm. They are not in the business of rides. They are not in the business of concessions. They are in the business of crowd management. They are in the business of logistics. That's what they do. They have to figure out how you get you from point A to point B in the way in which they want you to do that, and then they extract your American Express from your wallet every time you get there. And do that efficiently, and do it in a way where you want to rinse and repeat every time. And that way, if you like the experience and they do it efficiently enough, then they can continue to raise the prices every year, and you will come back every time. They do a lot of things really well. They do some things I don't think so well. But at the end of the day, anybody who's been to Walt Disney World and likes Disney in general believes that that's a place they want to go back to. And the kids buy into it because that's how they get you. They start you young. Mm-hmm. When I was in my teens and 20s and I started going there on my own, I could literally show up at the front door, buy a ticket, and go. You could show up to a ride, you could press a button, out would come a ticket. That ticket would say, you be back between 3 and 4 o'clock, and you can go in the back door, and we'll get you on the ride just as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Like, I love Six Flags.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm picturing, is like that.
Yeah.
You show up whenever, and then you kind of just mingle around the park and see what you want to ride and wait in the virtual line.
Yeah, that's Six Flags for you. But, the Six Flags and Disney have two distinct experiences.
You're right. Yes.
And, you could get stabbed at Six Flags. It's probably not going to happen at Walt Disney World, right? I mean, I'm just sharing.
There's stabbings at Six Flags.
Oh, don't you remember there was like a shooting here a couple of years ago?
Was there?
Oh, a couple of shootings. Yeah. I mean, listen, Six Flags I think is generally a cool place too. But it's just two different vibes.
Of course, yeah.
But then you don't spend the night at Six Flags. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you could, but you wouldn't really want to. But so now they have this billion-dollar Oracle app that they've rolled out where you have to, a week ahead of time, if you're staying on the property, then you can plan you can plan 3 or 4 rides per park, the day before you show up. So today's the day we have to get up and plan every bit, every bop, every twist, every turn in our vacation. And we have 17 children, most of which don't even speak yet. Mm-hmm. And we have no fucking clue what's going to happen. I've been just me and Astrid, and we have no clue what's going to happen. We think that we can be at one park and make it over to dinner the next park in 45 minutes, but we don't really know that that's what's going to happen because kids are unpredictable, and humans are too, and no one fucking really knows. But Disney demands that of you, or you will lose. How will you lose? You will have to stand in the regular lines that can be, on average, 2 to 3 hours long. Mm. If you go and stand in line for 2 to 3, see, the thing is, now you have to upgrade and buy these extra passes, right? These lightning lane passes. I'm not saying this is a terrible idea because I don't really know. They're in the business of logistics. I am not. I am the business of paying them to be in the business of logistics and then begging American Express to take $12 a day out of my pocket until I can pay them back. But the reality is like you have to pay to make sure that you can get on these rides in a decent amount of time. Because if you don't pay, you're not playing the game that everybody else is playing, and you will certainly wait in line much longer than you otherwise would have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let me explain. If I go to Space Mountain, the roller coaster, the world famous roller coaster inside of the Magic Kingdom in Disney World, the one that's in the dark, that's been there since 1922.
Yeah, I remember that was my favorite.
It is my favorite. Still my favorite. Mm-hmm. Years later, right? It's a silly little ride, but everyone loves it. That regular line, just go wait in line. Hey, we're walking around Disney. What do we do? Space Mountain. Okay, let's go wait in line. Can regularly be over 2 hours long. 2 hours long. That's 2 hours. That's 2 episodes of the commercial break. So if I go there and I just wait in line, okay, I'm waiting 2 hours. I've now wasted from 10 a.m. to noon just standing there waiting for a 3.5 minute ride. Mm-hmm. But if I spend the extra whatever to get the lightning lane pass, I can go in the quick line and maybe I wait 15 minutes. Maybe. But if I don't buy that, then everybody else in the park, the 50% of the people in the park who are paying that extra money are getting the most out of their vacation while the rest of us are spending 2 to 3 hours per ride just waiting on it. How many rides can you get in a day if you're waiting 2 to 3 hours?
No, you can like 2, 3.
4. Yeah,
4,
tops. Yeah, and that's if you spend the entire day there. It's going to be 1,000 degrees down there. You think I want to spend every minute of the day down there? No, from 12 to 2, I want to be at a cabana drinking a frosty shitarita. That's what I want to do. So, therefore, you have to play the game. Because if you don't play the game, you're not going to get the most out of the experience you just literally sold sperm for.
The tickets are expensive, right?
They're very expensive. It's hundreds of dollars a day. Mm-hmm. Once you add the lightning thing on there and, you plan it all out, and then if you get a Edie package or, a Mickey Snacky package, if you get the Mickey Snacky package, you're spending a couple $100s a day per person. That's without the hotel room. It's incredibly expensive. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I don't know. Maybe it should be. Maybe that's the way they keep...
Well, supply and demand.
Supply and demand. Mm-hmm. That's right. There was this overarching argument during the pandemic when Disney started reopening the parks after they closed for about a month from COVID. They would let just a few people in, and they started slowly ratcheting up their prices. And people were saying, holy shit, it's really getting expensive. But the people who were going to the parks were like, wow, we can get on a lot of rides. Yeah. We can do a lot of things. It's not as crowded as it was just 2 years ago. You couldn't even... The Magic Kingdom was regularly closing the front doors because no more people could fit in.
No more capacity.
Yes. And there are hundreds, if not thousands of hotels in the Orlando area where people just fly in. They stay at other hotels. Disney doesn't know they're coming. They show up at the front door. They buy a ticket. And guess what? They can't get in because it's closed because the fire marshal says no more pee-pee. Listen, here's the reality. Disney had to do something. So what did they do? They raised prices in the hopes that some people that can't quite afford it would drop off and decide not to show up at the front door, and they could still make the money that they needed to make. It's a game that they're playing. And is it the wrong one? I don't know. It's capitalism at work. I don't know if it's wrong or if it's right. But I'm not particularly excited. And I will continue to go to Disney if I can afford it. And with so many children, I don't know. This might be the one and only trip we ever take. It depends on the fate of the commercial break. It really does. It might or might not be the first and last trip that we take to Disney World. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to go, I need to play the game because I'm not going to take all these twiddlins down there and not go on at least 6 rides in a day. It's just not going to happen because then why else the fuck am I going? To go to see how pretty Disney World is? It's a lot of money to spend to see some flowers in the shape of a Mickey. You know what I'm saying, Krissy? I mean, honestly,
it seems like a lot. Think about.
It's a lot. That's why I didn't hire her because you don't hire her. But there's all these, mainly women. I'm sure there are men out there that do this too. But there are a lot of women who are stay-at-home moms, I would imagine, because that's what they target. They target stay-at-home moms that know the Disney World layout, Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Tokyo, wherever it is. And they are certified Disney vacation planners. And what they do is they will, for free, help you plan your vacation up to and including making reservations for dinners, for rides, and all this stuff. Well, what's in it for them? What's in it for them is they get huge vacation discounts. Disney often brings them down there for free vacations to show them new rides, show them how to do things.
They're a specific Disney travel agent.
Yes, and Disney kicks back the money to them, right? So they get access, I think, to discounts. They get a commission and stuff
free
like
stuff.
that. So for the first time ever, I could walk into any of those parks down there in Florida and you could blindfold me, and I promise you I could figure out where I was going. And for the first time ever, we said, let's get a Disney vacation planner because this is getting a little too this is getting a little out of hand. I don't know what to do anymore.
Right.
So anyway, so it figures I'd probably be getting sick, number one. Number two, we're going to go down there and we're going to see what happens. I'll certainly keep you abreast of the situation.
I cannot wait
you know that. Oh, it's going to be good.
this.
Listen, I'm also watching a lot of park videos as we lead up into this, just to kind of take the temperature, no pun intended, of what's going on down there. And it's also, the world, Disney World is not immune to the world. And a lot of people are getting revved up down there about a lot of different things.
Wow.
Yeah, people go in there, they're all fussy and angry because they spent all this money and then they got somebody walking in front of them and cutting them off. And why are you driving that stroller like that? And I demand this and I deserve that. The problem is the entire fucking world thinks they're the goddamn king of England. And that's the problem. I have my own issues. I can get a little fussy when I'm driving. I
think you might need to take an edible before you go into
before I go down to Disney.
Yeah.
I don't get hot like that. Like I don't, when I go out in the world, I'm not like that. I mean, I certainly get frustrated at things people do, but I'm not one to start vocalizing to get in fights, to get upset. That's not me. And I hate when people disrespect customer service agents, unless the customer service agents are acting like real assholes. That's a different story altogether. But highly unlikely you're going to find that down at Disney World. But people, they just get so entitled. It's like they think they have to have something that everybody else can't have because they are the grand poobahs of whatever nation they came from.
They think they're Mr. Beast, who just rented out Disney for $1 million.
Disney World or Disneyland?
It was
Disneyland.
Maybe Disneyland.
Yeah, $1 million.
Yes, for one night for a date.
For a date.
Uh-huh.
Huh. Well, that's what you get when you're the $1 billion YouTube creator. Yes. We are the 32-cent YouTube creators.
We're the penny creators.
We are the penny creators. And I can't wait.
The dime store, if you will.
Well, we are the dime store. What was funny is that we were talking the other day about tipping to ensure promptness, which is not really what tip stands for, but this is what this guy said to me, right? Tip is like an old pirate word or something. I don't know. And insure is spelled with an E. I know that. I understand. Insure is to like insure your car. Insure is to make sure something happens, right? I get that. I understand it. I'm just telling a funny story that a guy did when I was at a restaurant.
At the bar.
Okay, all right. So our Instagram and our YouTube went crazy, right? This reel's getting shared and all this other stuff. And then we get to 6,500 followers, which is no feat whatsoever at all. Kim Kardashian has 162 million followers, and we have 6,500. But we get this holy shit notice from Instagram. It's like, you've reached 6,500. We put together a story for you. Make sure you share it. Like through the years, here's your best reel. Your account is growing. And I'm like, if you think for one fucking second, all of a sudden you love us, you've showed us no attention whatsoever. And then all of a sudden we get dink, one extra follower that gets us to 6,500. And now you want us to share that we're losers? Fuck you. Fuck you. That was so stupid. I was like, the hell I'm going to share this. Fuck no.
Well, but thanks to whoever that 6,500 person was.
Yeah. Jenny.atttt.appc. Thank you. Love you. All right. Well, everyone settle down. We will be here next week, though. You'll hear new episodes.
That's right.
We think. Anyway, unless I'm sick. And then, I don't know, roll the dice. I guess. Here we go. It always figures. When you need to be at your best, you're at your worst.
That's true.
That's the way it works.
What's stressful sometimes just to get to the vacation, you know?
Yes. And
so
we should have never told the kids we were going. We should have never told the kids. Bryan couldn't keep his mouth shut. That's my fault. That's me. That's on me. Astrid said, don't tell them till like the day before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guess what, kids? We're going to Disney World. In 2 years. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We'll all figure it out. It's going to be a good time. One way or the other. Then I'm watching this. Somebody put together a reel of kids meeting their favorite character down in Disney World.
And
so like a
out.
sappy song. Yeah. Like freaking out, but like in a good way. Like hugging them,
good.
Kissing them, like crying, to this sappy song. It was like a 1.5 minute long reel. And I thought to myself, all the drama, all the stress, all the planning, the driving, the heat, all of it, and it will have all been worth it at the end because I will have 3,000 photographs of my children at Disney World. So if we never go again, kids,
remember when?
Look through the photos.
You're too young to remember. Well, you were there.
Listen,
Look.
I'm about to get priced out too, so don't feel so bad. All right, 212-433-3TCB, 212-433-3822. Questions, comments, concerns, content ideas, we are taking them all. Or if you want to come see a live taping of the commercial break, we might be able to make that happen. We already have people on the list. So let us know at The Commercial Break on Instagram, youtube.com/The Commercial Break for all of the episodes the same day they air here on the audio, and tcbpodcast.com for your free TCB sticker. Okay, Krissy, I guess that's all I can do for now.
I think so.
I'll tell you that I love you.
And I love you.
Best to you.
Best to you.
Best to you out there in the podcast universe. Until next time, Krissy and I will say, we do say, and we must say,
Goodbye.